today, editing Milo's standing in my closet to say, we're on Spotify, baby! We made it! Which is all thanks to Kirran, our new resident Spotify tech guy, for his huge, massive, massive brain to be able to get us on Spotify, which is insanely cool. So I left his social media links in the description, along with just a link to find us on Spotify. Or you can just look up DigiDate on Spotify, which is like, holy shit, I made it. So, thank you all for listening, and we're gonna let you get on with the episode. So, goodbye.
Hi,
Have a
and welcome
good day.
to DigiDate, a visual novel podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Nellsie, and today I have an announcement, which is that I'm out of the podcasting game, alright? I'm a magician.
You're leaving?
Now.
What the fuck? You're a magician?
I'm a magician. I found out recently that I got a fucking gift, Milo.
You have a gift.
I have a gift.
Can I see your gift?
Yes, I will be happy to show you an example. It's a gift for me, like, public speaking and reading and being mean to anime boys.
Yes, all gifts.
Okay. Pick a card and think of it in your mind.
Okay.
Okay, you've got a card?
Mm.
Are you sure you want this card?
Yeah, I got one.
Alright. Is your card a Joker card?
I got you! I fucking got you! I wasn't thinking of any card. I was thinking of nothing. I wasn't thinking of a fucking card. You asked me if I had a card, but I didn't, you card-pulling dipshit. I didn't have anything. I didn't have jack shit. And you thought I did. I got you so good.
What was your card?
I got you so fucking good. It was a Yu-Gi-Oh fucking card.
It was
Or
a
was
Yu-Gi-Oh
it?
card?
It was a Yu-Gi-Oh fucking card, you magician.
Was
Card
it Blue Eyes
dipshit.
White Dragon?
No, it was actually a Pokemon card. I got you again. I got you a third time. I pranked this goddamn magician. I got you so good.
God.
I got you so good. Never
I
try
sold
to do
my
a trick to me
house.
again.
Well, looks like I'm back in the podcasting game.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you're back, because
Yeah, I know.
You.
I think I would be a very bad magician, because magicians professionally seem to just lie to you. And you know, that's not good, but if it makes it a good segue, because one of the characters in this dating sim is a pathological liar.
Wow, that was like we're closer. Soon we'll have an actual transition.
Soon we'll have, like, real segues.
This is great. Yeah. Now, let me get into what our game is for today. It's just XOXO Droplets.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing of XOXO Droplets is that the main character is annoying to people enough that has gotten pulled out of multiple schools. So because of this, she has one last chance to not be awful and horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And this one last chance comes in the form of her going to this school and being in this group filled with people. It's like a support group, essentially. And they meet monthly, and it's full of people that have no one else wanted in their groups. So unlikable people. And those are your boys. And you have to try to manage all your parents are like, if you don't fucking do good, if people don't like you in the school, we're gonna take you out. So you have to manage all the cliques.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially. Do you want to give the point that you had about this group of boys?
Yeah. So, viewers, you may or may not know this from the cover art, but I'm not white. It's a crazy thing. It's a recent decision that I made. And
Thank you for feeling comfortable coming out to me.
Yeah. You know, it's been really refreshing. But also, I say this because the point I'm going to make is a funny one. It's not a legit criticism. It's just funny, specifically to me. I think this school would get fucking sued in a minute. I think this school would get sued to shit. Oh my god. The lawsuit that this school would be under is fucking incredible. There are 2 white people in this club of unlikable people. And then a black person, an Asian person, and I don't know what the fuck Pran is, and Everett. And then, so, they would get so fucking sued. You have a club full of unlikable people, and 5 of them, because the protagonists too, are minorities? Are you fucking kidding me? You get sued so fucking fast. And this is a boarding school, they're all rich and they can afford to do a lawsuit? Oh my god.
You'd be sued out your fucking ass.
You'd be sued out your fucking ass.
Like, it would make sense if the people in this group were, like, fist fighting and shit. They're just, like, generally, quote-unquote, unlikable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, they would get sued the fuck. Imagine if your kid came home and said, yeah, I got put in the group of people that no one likes.
Yeah, I got put in the group of people that no one likes. Milo, you wouldn't have had this experience, but pretend that you did.
Yes.
Is being in, like, the 4th grade, and, like, there would be a teacher who was kind of, like, an asshole, and so every fucking non-white kid was just like, I don't like that teacher, she's racist. It would be this, but you would get sued. Sued.
Yes, you would get sued out your ass, which is surprised there isn't. And also, that's the whole thing, is that there's these unlikable dudes, quote unquote unlikable. We'll kind of get into it, how we feel about the dudes, but first I want to talk about the main character. Because I played this game 1 or 2 years ago, which is why I was really excited for us to play it, because it's like my white whale. This game could be very good. And not to get into our opinions too early, but it has a lot of problems. And one of them, I think, is the main character. You don't really have choices as her for, like, whenever you're having conversations. You control her like a car. You move her around to the boy you like, and then she just does all the work.
Yeah. I like to compare it to if she were, like, a fucked up dog that I took into my home. And I, like, set the feeding times for this motherfucker. And, like, I try to engage with it. But at the end of the day, that's its own creature. I didn't do shit for it.
Yeah, it's exactly that. It's this dog that you have. And we named ours, well, I named mine DigiDark Podcast because she's a jerk. So we were like, what's like an evil version of our podcast?
Yeah, I gave mine my first name and then DigiDark as a last name. So that it had that personal touch. Mwah.
And, I mean, okay, the MC isn't an asshole. She's just not funny. And also very horny.
Oh, so horny.
Which is fine when it's a game like Monster Prom, but it just feels very weird whenever you're watching a teenager be, like, kind of a little bit coy with, like, a teacher who's, like, shooting it down.
Listen, Milo and I were both raised Catholic. The reason this factors in is because I'm going to make a joke. I'm not, unlike Milo, I don't have issues, but...
yeah,
I think the issue I take with this is that it's horny in, like, it's horny in such a weird, non-sexual way, where it's like, cause you're not allowed to swear or really say anything too explicit, so, it's just, like, horny, but, it's like, if I were watching a PG-13 movie, right? And for some reason, it gives me, like, it's the skin-crawling factor of, like, something that isn't all that explicit, but I know the undertones of it. Like, there's something, I find it weirder to talk about, like, wanting to see somebody's abs than wanting to suck someone's dick.
Yeah, it does have that, that's a really good way to put it. It does feel like a PG-13 movie, where, like, someone comes in, like, a teacher or something, and they go, ooh, God, it's like, this is weird. Because you can't say anything, so it's creepier whenever you can't. And the specific teacher that I keep saying teacher. You have your, like, group leader is a nurse. His name is Lynn. And, like, you can't date Lynn. But there is just a lot of stuff of Lynn just being like, please don't say that. And then DigiDark being like, oh, but I can have adult friends. And it's like... This is weird to me. For some reason, it skeeved me the fuck out.
Yeah, it's just, like, it's weird, and also, like, I don't give a shit about Lynn. I felt like I should have some autonomy to decide if I wanted to be horny about Lynn, if I had to.
You don't have much autonomy. Oh, should we get into the rest of the boys, then?
Oh, let's talk about the boys.
The first one I have listed here is Pran.
Why is this fool green?
Probably a bad one to start on.
Okay, fine. We'll put that as an addendum later.
We should talk about how he's green. He's so green.
His bloodstream is sewage water.
The colors on XOXO Droplet is so the skin tones for Pran. He's so green. He's got this green hue radiating off of him.
It's like the most intense green undertone. I understand being olive-skinned, but goddamn, this dude is olive-blooded.
When people say olive-skinned, they don't mean that they literally have green skin tones.
He's radioactive. You touch him and you fucking gain 8 diseases.
Which, I think we could also get into a similar thing is with Everett. You said Everett... Okay.
Wait,
if
can
Everett
I make one more joke?
Yes.
Pran could legally be buried underneath North Carolina. As a warhead.
For context for that joke, everybody, underneath Goldsboro, North Carolina, which is where I used to live, there is a warhead that they never took out of the ground and just is there still, in a swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Look it up if you don't believe me. You're podcasting, pal. But
I love these educational facts on our podcast.
We know, never say we didn't teach you nothing. If we want to get a little bit about the skin tone before we move on, you mentioned that Everett is a person of color. What person of color is Everett? Is Everett a Simpson? Like, what the fuck is he supposed to be?
He seems,
He's a fucking Simpson!
I want to say, everybody who is, like, non-American, like, in this game, has an extremely cultural name. So, because he's named Everett, I'm gonna assume he is American, which narrows it down none at all.
He's a Simpson?
He's sort of like ambiguously beige, which I can relate. He's blonde,
he's not!
but
He's orange! What do you mean he's beige? He's so orange!
To be fucking supportive, man.
I'm not supportive of the color choice. Every time I saw him, I thought about Simpsons. It was a horrible curse.
Every time I saw Everett, I was just like, what's this gay boy doing in my fucking game?
How am I supposed to date him? This man is gay.
This man's a homosexual. And this game made me a wom.
Oh, do you want to go first with the character then? Do you pick the first character we talk about?
Oh, I could pick the first character, yeah. What the fuck is up with Jonathan?
Jonathan? Do you mean Jeremy?
Fuck, Jeremy! I remember people's names. Names. The fuck is up with Jeremy?
I don't know. I don't know.
Come here. Come close. Mm-hmm. Don't leave in that part where I say Jonathan, okay? And don't just leave in this part where, like, I say don't leave in the part where I said Jonathan as a funny haha joke.
But I definitely will not do that.
Okay, you're not gonna do that?
Yeah, this is no one's gonna see this but me.
Okay.
Totally.
Hey, let's kiss. Anyway.
Okay. Okay.
I make funny haha joke that you will never hear because it was edited out.
Yeah, definitely not. Definitely didn't hear Nemo just open mouth kiss me. That's a joke.
So here's my thing, is that with Jeremy, so Jeremy's, like, sad, and at first I didn't really give a shit about him, but he has found his way on my list of characters I found myself liking, specifically because of his friendship with Pran. Jeremy and Pran, who I guess we could, like, easily transition to after we finish talking about this guy, both have this similar issue where they're just not communicative. Pran, in general, is, like, mysterious, whereas Jeremy is just depressed.
He's just a sad boy.
Jeremy is specifically in the club because he's, quote, a downer, unquote, which I think is so fucked up. Like, this man just needs Zoloft.
They put him in this group because everyone's like, you make me fucking sad just looking at you.
He's like 4 feet tall, man.
Yeah, he is very short.
He's tiny and his hair is green. This man isn't unlikable. He's just depressed.
Isn't he an artist?
I think so.
I vaguely remember that, because I didn't really focus on him too much in my playthroughs.
I didn't either, don't worry. I just ended up liking him a little bit.
Yeah, I like that he's just in love with, like, not in love with, well, maybe. Him and Pran have a close relationship.
They do. I think they're homosexuals.
Oh, congrats to the homosexuals in the audience. I do like Jeremy. He makes more sense to me he has something fun going on for why he's there. Is that no one wants to even look at him.
Get him away!
Which makes sense, at least, why he's there. He's got something.
Yeah, there's something so funny to me about Jeremy. It's just being there, and, like, your whole problem is just sadness.
You're the saddest man alive.
And then, you want to introduce Pran?
Yeah, Pran, sewage man. Pran's whole thing is he doesn't talk, which is boring. I know you could probably glean more. I know he has, like, sad stuff happening to him, but I'm sorry. This is nothing.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I'm gonna get into a greater point with this, specifically about Pran, Everett, and Nate. But, Pran specifically, like, his manner of being, like, untouchable in, like, a way where he doesn't speak to other people unless it's under very specific rules. There are very specific conditions in which he'll speak to people, and it's only one-on-one. Also, like, just doesn't interest me that much. Also, I don't know, see, he never says happy birthday to anyone. And I know they're not meant to be likable, but come on, man.
Yeah, there's the group meetings. They have group meetings because this game takes place over 2 in-game years. And they have birthday celebrations, and he never says happy birthday.
He never says happy birthday. And, you know, I get that we're all supposed to be dicks, but come on.
Come on! They just let him off the hook, because you have to say happy birthday to leave the room. But Lynn's just like, well, Pran cannot do it. Make Pran say happy birthday!
Make Pran say happy birthday. Hold him hostage. Moving on from Pran, I'm just gonna pick someone randomly off my list. How about that Nate boy?
Oh, yeah. Nate? Okay. Let me get to my first point about Nate.
Okay.
Hey, guys. Hey. Sit in front of me, XOXO Droplets. You can help me. XOXO Droplets. Why did you make the one black man in the cast be angry? Why'd you make the one black man in the cast be the angry one with anger issues who growls into the mic?
Bark, 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 bark.
He goes like he gets like angry. Makes like a wall punching noise. Like it's not actually, but it sounds like a it's very, very weird. Hey, why'd you do that? DigiDate? Not DigiDate, sorry, that's our podcast. Why'd you do that, XOXO Droplets?
Why'd you do that, XOXO Droplets? My thing about this isn't even, I'm willing to believe, because I've looked into XOXO Droplets' other games. That's not the name of that company, but I looked into their other games. GB Patch? I think we're not experts, alright? Yeah. We're just two buffoons with a podcast. We're here in our little jester's hats, alright? And we're dancing in front of you, you fucking distant audience, as the king makes his judgments. Okay? And yes, my hat is floppy, and yes, the bells on it jingle so sweetly. But motherfucker, I am a 3-dimensional character, and also I think that black people are probably on the staff at this company. But I just feel like, you know, you would have better optics.
Yeah, you would think that they would catch this. It seems rough.
Yeah, I have a greater point to make about this, but it is just, I appreciate the diverse cast of XOXO Droplets. I could feel like they were, it impressed me that, though I think her coloring is a little bit, off, gradient-wise, it impressed me that by default you are a person of color, you don't see that a lot in default protagonists. So points for that. Why does man growl?
Why does man growl? Why does man growl? The voice acting in XOXO Droplets. Now, I don't want to be rude, but the voice acting in XOXO Droplets, maybe it's poor directing, but it's bad. God, it's
Voice
bad.
acting in XOXO Droplets, it just feels like the most random lines that were chosen to be voiced.
Yeah, like, they'll have emotional scenes and they won't say jack shit, but then there'll be a random line in a conversation that'll be fully voiced.
It'll be fully voiced, and you'll see that line come up again because they have to make use of that voice track. Because otherwise they got them to, like, voice an individual line, and it's like, I don't know, man. Why?
Yeah! Yeah, the voice, there's also, like, 3 different groan and or growl voice lines for Nate. Where he either goes, ugh, like, it's like, why? But okay.
I want a sequel where he says, bark, 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 bark.
Bark, 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 bark. He also has red eyes, which is a choice. But, to get into what Nate is like, see, here's the thing. I got a lot of fucking hearts with Nate, did a few dates, and I feel like I really didn't progress that much with him. And to this day, I still don't really know Nate. I kinda don't get him, or what his purpose is. You know what I mean? Like, why he's in this group.
Yeah.
You go.
The purpose seems to be that he's standoffish and doesn't seem to find necessity in, like, talking to other kids. But also, like, I don't know, there's 2, like, full cliques called the Troublemakers and Others.
Yeah!
I just feel like everyone's, like, dickishness is far too realistic.
Yeah, it just feels like people you've known in your real life, where it's not outlandish enough to be interesting, but not boring enough, or, like, for them to just be charming.
Yeah. You know, like, there's a reason, you know, you sit down and you watch It's Always Sunny, and you might care about 1 or 2 of the characters, or all of them if you're a weirdo, and it's because everybody in there is a goddamn cartoon character. But in this game full of cartoon characters, this is just like a guy in my geometry class.
Yeah, that's what Nate kind of feels like to me. They have this whole thing where, like, I also think I had with Nate, and maybe this is just me, because when I play a dating sim, I like to go for the ones that like me.
Yeah.
And whenever you ask out Nate the first time, he's just straight up, like, says that he threw his phone. Because that's the last thing he wanted to hear. And I was just like, I don't want to go on a date with you. I don't want to go on a date with this man if they don't want to date me.
God, see, my thing is that, like, 1, you know what this is just a small observation, why, it's so fucked up to me that Nate's sprite art is so much happier than he is.
Happier?
Like, have you seen his sprite art, specifically in the cafeteria? His little chibi sprite.
Yeah.
He's like, smiling. I didn't realize that was Nate for, like, a hot minute. I was like,
because he's always angry and sad.
Yeah, and also, like, so oftentimes I will go for somebody who just actively doesn't like me in a dating sim, because I get intrigued by that sort of, like, you know, you're warming up a cold person kind of thing. You know, I fucking care about, what's-his-face from Obey Me, whose name I forgot after we did that episode, Leviathan.
Oh, Mammon. Oh, Leviathan, yeah.
I care about Leviathan, you know, we liked Seven when he was being rude to us. That was cool. But, like, the issue with Nate is that he's not even... Oftentimes I feel like justified the fact that Nate shouldn't have to be here. All he wants to do is focus on fucking school.
Literally! That's my thing with Nate. Whenever I say, like, he doesn't want to date me, I'm not more so, like... I don't think I want to even subject DigiDark to Nate, because I don't think Nate deserves to have DigiDark there. Because, like, Nate just wants to focus on school. I feel like I'm bringing him down. And that's not what I want to feel whenever I'm, like, going for a date, is like, Nate just wants to go to fucking school. Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a thing that I need to bring down?
Nate care too much about school. Nate in Club of Unlikable People.
And it's like, I just feel, like, bad, because DigiDark would... Having an MC with this much personality leads to the problem of that. You need to... Now, MC doesn't work with every character. Do you know what I mean?
It's just... What? I really cannot get over just Nate growling into the microphone.
I'll try to see if I can find it, but yeah, he makes, like, a annoyed growl noise, like, It's like, I like Nate. That's the reason why I went for him whenever I first started this playthrough, because I didn't do it the first time I played 2 years ago, was because I do think Nate is interesting, but I also no, he's not interesting.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We know who we are gonna leave for last, so let's talk about Everett.
Everett and Nate could just be the same character. If you just combine them, I think that would be a fully rounded character.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with Everett?
He's a Simpson.
Yeah, he's a Simpson, but also, like, okay, so Everett's whole thing seems to be that he feels that he's another untouchable sort of character, but this time he just kind of finds social stuff below him. Which also, fine.
Yeah, like, honestly, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because he's friends with Nate. So, he's fine. Like, he doesn't need why does he, like, he has a friend already.
It's odd to me, like, I want to know the standards for getting into this unlikable club. 'Cause, like, I just don't see... Everett is, like... I've met, like, 80 billion Everetts.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a clique system. Like, there's a clique that is specifically, like, called the Populars. He could fucking... I don't understand, like, why do these people get to exist, but this motherfucker's in a club for being unlikable?
Yeah, what does he do that would make him too unlikable for, like, these over-the-top popular quote-unquote clique?
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't do anything that you wouldn't just assume that means he's popular.
Yeah.
Like, why would this limit his popularity? Is that he's up his own ass?
Mm-hmm. And I feel like, personally, what got me about this is, one, interactions with Everett are, like, so they have entertaining premises, but they go on too long.
So long. They're painful.
It's painful. Like, okay, it is a funny punchline to have Everett say that he's upset because somebody asked him for your number, and it's like, people shouldn't be fucking... they shouldn't find me approachable so they can talk to you. But it went on too long that by the time it got to the punchline, I was like, huh.
Yeah, because it's like, with conversation with Everett, it's like, Everett going, I'm angry. Digidart going, are you going to tell me why you're angry? Everett goes, no, I'm not. Digidart goes, I'm going to keep asking. Everett goes, well, maybe I'm angry about the number. Why are you angry about the number? Like, it just keeps going around and around.
It's too long. That's a persistent problem with the game that we'll get into later, but I have qualms about the writing.
This is the most, it's very overwritten.
Let's talk about Bay.
Bay! I forgot to put him on my list. Bay is a character who I was going after as well, because he's interesting. I like that he's, like, mysterious, but he's in a fun way.
Yeah, it's fun. Bay's fun to me, because, I have to imagine there are some supernatural elements to this game that I didn't see, because, this motherfucker's got red eyes.
I mean, so does Nate. Now that I think about it.
Why does Nate have red eyes? Let's talk about that. Because that also... I should have put that in my fucking notes.
Nate having red eyes is also a bit rough, game. Bit rough. To give the one black man be angry and have red eyes.
Black people. Am I right? With their red eyes.
Speaking of that, this might just be me.
Mm-hmm.
The coloring on the MC makes me insane.
It's not... I just don't like looking at DigiDate because of her DreamWorks eyebrows. I played a lot of the game. I had played through the beginning part multiple times because I was having a lot of computer trouble, as Milo knows, and we're going to talk about computer trouble at the end of the episode because we have a funny story. But I had to start the game multiple times, so I would do skip mode to get through the beginning dialogue because it's long as hell. And I just would watch the animated DreamWorks eyebrows go up and down like a worm.
Yeah! You see, the DreamWorks eyebrows are what is rough. Also, what bothers me is her hair is the same color as her skin. So she's got, like, this, like, Smurf quality to it. Not even Smurf, like, it's very...
have blonde hair.
Yeah, Smurfs even have more distinct hair color than she does. And it's like, who have you met? Who has this, like, blending into the skin? It looks like an extension of the face.
Those are her tendrils, you bitch. Do not be fucking rude. Some of us have fucking head appendages. You asshole. You card-pulling dipshit.
And, like, it would be fine if her eyebrows were, like, black or something or anything. But no. She was just born with monochromatic body.
I would love it if her clothes were the same color.
That makes me want to edit a picture, so it looks like it's
She's
all
a
the
human
same.
pair of khakis.
Like, look, I really am glad that they have an MC who is a person of color. That's great. Why'd you do this to her hair, though?
I don't really like the color decisions in a lot of XOXO Droplets. The character designs in general I have a lot of critique with, but we got very distracted, because let's talk about Bay.
You talk about Bay, they give like this little bitty airs that he might be like a demon or something.
Yeah, and that makes sense, you know, Nate calls him the Antichrist multiple times, which, I don't know, Asian folks in the audience, what are the optics on that?
Yeah, what are the optics on that one?
I'm not educated in this, but, I would like to be.
This is our blind spot.
This is our blind spot, is that, I don't know how racist it is to call the one Asian person the Antichrist.
Yes, or to have it, is it just maybe we're the racist ones? Did they actually talk about how he seemed, like he's got like a,
maybe we're racist.
I don't know, supernatural vibe. I don't know if they brought that up in game, and that's why we think that?
Maybe? Or maybe, Milo, now let's consider. You've brought up an interesting idea. Maybe we're the racist ones. But okay. So his thing is that he's got narcissistic tendencies. He loves himself, you know, just kinda, it's not to Zen's extent, which makes me sad.
Yeah, it would be funny if he was to Zen's extent.
We gotta stop referencing Mystic Messenger on this podcast, wait.
No, it's not gonna stop. We might as well just lean into it.
Yeah, it's not to, like, Zen Mystic Messenger's extent. He's not leaning in to give a fervent, horny kiss to the mirror.
No, he's just, like, generally kind of like, oh, wouldn't you like to know what I'm doing?
Yeah, he's like, oh, yeah, my problem is that I think I'm better than everybody else. And I am. And it's like, man, I love your confidence.
I love that. I love that I think he did say that shit word for word, which, like, respect, mad respect.
Mad respect. I feel like if I introduce myself to people this way, I would, like, have a lot more successful interactions.
Oh, 100%. I think the level of confidence he has, he's fun. I like how confident he is.
I like how confident he is. I like that he calls everyone pet names, but it would have been better for me personally if A, he called only one person a pet name to fuck with them, or B, he calls everybody but Shiloh a pet name because Shiloh is like happy about it, and so he's like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Or C, the pet names weren't so goddamn stupid.
Yeah, the pet names are just so, they're like Ducky.
I like
and
Ducky.
Like Starfish.
Twinkle and Starfish got me.
Twinkle and Starfish are like, no, come on, y'all. It's nothing.
You're running out of things.
It's nothing. That's not a pet name. It's just, yeah, he calls everybody pet names. I do like him. I understand why he's here, but also at the same time,
I don't really. He seems cool. I didn't really give a shit.
I kept getting scenes with him. I had like 135 hearts with Nate at the time, and like Bae was like my second person I was going after, and I kept getting scenes with him, but like no scenes with Nate. So I was like, oh, cool, Bae. Where's the boy?
Bae cucks your boy.
Where's Nate? Put Nate on the phone.
Well, let's talk about
Guy?
Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the Shiloh.
The character who I think sells this concept the best.
Yeah, so here's the thing about Shiloh is, I like Shiloh. I inherently was biased towards Shiloh's design because he's got freckles and he's always smiling.
He's cute, yeah.
Yeah, he's a cute little boy. You know, and I enjoyed the fact that so his thing seems to be that he's a terminal people pleaser. And specifically he says things that he knows are untrue or that he knows are just like humble brags.
Yeah.
Specifically because he likes the reaction it gets from people. And so it leads into just a general pathological lying path, which is fun. I like that. I do think, like, it should be made more apparent in, like, dialogue with the group that this is his thing, because aside from other characters telling you that he's just, like, a terminal flatterer, it's just him going, like, oh, I'm happy birthday, and everybody going, shut the fuck up, Shiloh.
Yeah, but they don't really at first tell you that he's a pathological liar. They're weirdly vague a lot about it, so it just seems like everyone's a dick.
And I guess they are, but I get the feeling that wasn't the intentional motion.
No, I don't think that they wanted you to be like, hey, these people suck.
Yeah, it was odd to me because when you first told me about XOXO Droplets and we read the Steam page for it, there was like a review on it that was like, this game, there were no likable characters in this game, which I had thought was stupid because I hope that whoever's getting murdered in my house is having a fun time. Which I thought was stupid because it was like, okay, wait, I'm gonna pause the Audacity recording. The Steam review, like, got to me because it's like, the game's concept is supposed to be about romancing bad people. But more and more as I played the game, I started to see what they meant is that they're, like, bad people in the most mild way. And, like, even the ones with interesting concepts, I feel like those concepts are kind of squandered on the fact that the writing is, like, not taking full advantage of the potential.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that Steam page, that Steam review that we saw, It's sort of is true, because they're just bad in a benign way, to where, like, if someone is over-the-top evil, that's more fun than someone who just is kind of a dick.
It's just, like, odd to me, because it's like, what is it? Oh, yeah. It's odd to me, because I'm like, the fuck is going on here? The fuck is going on here, mate? It seems like perhaps you're trying to tell me these people are bad people, but not committing to the bit. Have someone be a misogynist.
Let someone hate women, love.
Let someone hate women.
Not actually, but with Shiloh specifically, I think Shiloh was probably the closest to getting that concept of people who, I understand why Shiloh's in this group. Because he can't be in any other groups, everybody knows he's lying to them. They can't trust what he says. So, it's interesting to talk to him and start a relationship with him, and not knowing whether or not he actually likes you, or if you're just he just can't say no to you because he's an eternal people pleaser, sort of thing. It's like, you can't know how much of your relationship is genuine. You have to assume he likes you, but you can't even tell if that's just genuine or not, or if he's just trying to get in good with someone.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I think that's really fascinating. I went on the first date with Shiloh, and I took him to the lounge or whatever, and it was, I don't know, I feel like the writing is so stunted in points where it's like, conversations are so long, and they don't really seem to go anywhere, that, like, he was talking about his mom and his cats, and I was like, this would be really fun and cute if I could bring myself to care. But this conversation felt like real-life small talk that exhausted me.
Yeah, the conversations go too long to the point where it does feel like fucking bad small talk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, where Shiloh is our favorite. And I mentioned Shiloh whenever I talked about the game, because he was the one I went after whenever I played this 2 or so years ago. And I still stand by that I think he is the closest XOXO Droplets comes to its concept. And it's honestly, he's fun. It's fun to, like, talk to him, and he's just excitable and happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It is, and I like certain little bits. Like, there's a point where, like, if you go to work with him, he does this thing where it's like, when you go to work with him, he'll do this thing where he talks about, like, fucking, I have no brain. Oh, yeah. He talks about the discount he gets at the bookstore, because he's talking about, like, the like, bonuses, the things he likes about his job, the positive stuff. And then he's like, I like the discount that we get, and then you're like, I don't get a discount. And he's like, oh, really? And then you're like, you knew I didn't get a discount. What the fuck?
I love that. Yeah, like, he's kind of sneakily, like, snide.
Yeah, he's like, you know, small flexing on you.
Which is fun. But it's not worth it. It's not worth the... Do you want to get into the writing? Or should we get into the gameplay first? No, let's get into the writing, actually, because the gameplay makes you insane.
Yeah, so let's talk about the writing. So I do have a very interesting point here, that I wrote as a paragraph in my notes, so bear with me.
Okay.
I think this game should have been a book.
Ooh.
So obviously this is changed by the fact that the game mechanics are not regular visual novel game mechanics, but I'm not a professional, and you're listening to my podcast, alright? So, fuck off. I'm gonna tell you why. I think that the dialogue is long and tedious, but that it could have been less so if I didn't have to take the physical motion of clicking through every goddamn line of dialogue, of reading everybody's goddamn name tag because they're not different colors and I'm a little boy with a small brain. And so I can feel my soul leaving my fucking body every time I hit this goddamn button, subjecting myself to another fucking line of dialogue, another censored fuck, another censored goddamn, another censored dick, not as in a penis, but as in the word dick. It would have been better if I got to read it in a fucking book. It wouldn't have been good, but at least if I was reading a book, like, turning the page would have felt like less because I would have gotten more out of it. But here, every goddamn line of dialogue is like small talk in an elevator. I feel like I'm fucking going mad. The reason I play visual novels is because I can't talk to people in real life.
I think it should have been a book. Yeah, I think you make a good point. Because it's like, whenever scenes happen, they just take so long. Every club meeting, you have to go through people getting into the room and they argue about what they want to do. And no one knows what they want to do. And it just is so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's horribly long. And also, this is kind of a gameplay critique. They will in-universe explain why gameplay shit happens. You meet one of the characters, like there's a job system, and you can go to a job if you want during the weekends. And they have a character have DigiDate talk to another character, this blonde girl, or white-haired. And it's just like, where are you going? And she's like, I'm going to my job. She's like, oh cool, we can have jobs? And then the girl goes, oh yeah, we can have jobs. But the reason why they allow us to have them only once a week is because there's a special grant from the school, so we won't get fired if we don't go. And it's like, we don't need to know!
I don't give a shit! I don't mean to be rude. I want to be nice, I want to be positive, I want it to be like the Obey Me episode where I saw the good things in it. You know, I can see the charm of the game, it's just a nice relaxing afternoon, my therapist told me to breathe in, and breathe out, and breathe in, and breathe out. But I just don't think that it should explain game mechanics in game. I think this is one of the times where I would like just a regular, like, tutorial. Like, just put in a note screen that says, this is where you do this, and also, here's your job. Like, what?
Do we need to meet every single shopkeep?
To meet every fucking shopkeep. And the fucking girl who does fortune telling. Fuck that kid. I don't...
Fuck that psychic child.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be very kind about XOXO Droplets now.
Well, look. Here's the thing about the game. Is that I think that I appreciate that it's made by a small team. I appreciate that it tried something, probably.
Yes, and I'd be interested in seeing what the team does, like, as their next couple of projects. We looked onto their, website, and it was, like, interesting. It was fascinating.
Yeah, but this, I'm sorry, it's got too many problems. The eggs spoil the bunch. Like, this thing is broken.
This thing is broken. But, let's talk about something. Let's talk about something you liked. Milo, come here. I'm gripping you by the shirt collar. Do we have to talk about the gameplay?
Oh, we have to talk about the gameplay, absolutely.
I've just got my 30-day chip from fucking anger management, dude.
Look, just work back up to it. You can do it. So, the gameplay, while I say the game is broken, I will say there's one element about the game I really enjoyed, and what kept me around and kept it in my mind for a year. And, would you actually...
Life is pain.
the game has the balancing click system. It's essentially, what is the way we described it? It's like data collection, essentially.
Yeah.
You are having to go through these clicks. There's like 6 clicks that you'll have like moments will be like, Jonathan is walking down the hall. What do you do? And you have like 3 options. And the top option will give you can like gain satisfaction with this click. And if you don't say anything, you lose satisfaction with this click. So it's all about going around and managing all of your stats and making sure that everybody likes you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I thought it was fun. I liked the gameplay loop.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about it, Nemo?
I didn't feel any kind of way.
No,
I felt fine.
we both know that's not true.
No, it's fine.
No. Let's be honest here. We want to be honest on our podcast.
I do puzzles.
What?
I don't give a shit about stat management. Puzzle Boy does puzzles. I don't give a single shit about stat management. I wanted to play a goddamn dating sim. I was told that I was going to be playing a dating sim for my visual novel podcast. And now I gotta sit down here and I gotta do fucking video game math? Are you shitting me? Are you shitting me? 2 in-game years. 2 in-game years. Every fucking minute of this game felt like it was dragging along my brain. Like I had developed a brain-eating amoeba, but it was so small that at first I barely even noticed the change, but then it reached my temporal lobe, and it just started feasting, and now I couldn't fucking tell the time. Usually I have the opposite problem. Time passes by so fast, I never even know that it's fucking whatever day it is. But motherfucker, I was acutely aware. Every time I looked down, I was like, maybe it's been 10 minutes, maybe it's almost over, but it was always just 1 every single time, because I didn't give a shit about the gameplay mechanics. I didn't care about being close to the clicks. I cared about dating the boys. And maybe that makes me shallow. Maybe I'm a fake gamer, but I go to certain games for certain things.
And you didn't go to this one for stats?
I didn't go to this game for fucking stats, and I would have liked it better. Maybe if it was a simplified system, I could have gotten behind it, but it fucking wasn't. It was so many fucking aspects, and
Yeah, you have to click if you want to... There's also certain members of each click you can get close to. They don't have sprites, so you don't know what they look like. And then there's, if you get close to them, you can have a side boyfriend. Isn't that great, Nemo? Isn't that great?
It's fine.
Is it? It's fine.
I didn't like that I needed 150 points to fucking ask this fucker to go out with me.
Yeah,
and then 90 more for him to actually do it.
You have to do 150 fucking hearts, and the hearts reset back to 0. And I found the gameplay loop to be very, it's fun for me. I liked balancing the clicks.
I hate you. I hate you. Every goddamn moment I felt like Sisyphus carrying the rock on its goddamn back as he fucking trails this mountain. Each time the weight would get heavier and heavier, not because it had changed, but because I had changed, because I had grown old and wizened in the time it took me to fucking bring this rock.
Well, some of us find enjoyment by carrying Big Boulder uphill. I will say...
I hate Big Boulder. I hate Big Boulder. Big Boulder, not puzzle.
I'm getting such joy out of this. I will say. It's like finally I see what you felt.
It's karma for it's karma for Obey Me. It's karma for Obey Me.
It is, and I'm paying. I'm getting cashed in. I'm cashing this in for the bank.
I just feel like I feel too much rage at this fucking at what this video game did to me. Like, It didn't even do that much. I didn't like it. I shouldn't be this upset that I didn't like a video game, but I wanted to, because it has a fun concept. I would love to have a dating sim. I would love to play an enjoyable dating sim about dating like a shithead, but unfortunately I didn't feel like I was dating a shithead. I felt like I was fucking dating a boring-ass person.
A boring-ass person who you can only meet if you fulfill a certain amount of requirements.
A boring-ass person who needs me to fucking refill my goddamn friendship jar with them to hang out. You rude bitch.
I will say about the system, it could have 100% been streamlined. You have to sit there and read and, like, scroll through too much shit all the time. Mm-hmm. It's annoying. Also, hey, good question. Why do these people who are unlikable have cliques?
Why do they have cliques? If they're unlikable, why are they in cliques? 'Cause why is Shiloh an artsy? Why is he? Why does hanging out with Shiloh give you points with the populars?
Why does that give Shiloh points? Not Shiloh, why does that give you points for popular?
If he's so unlikable, why did the cliques hang out with him?
Because they're not fully unlikable. They're just kind of annoying.
I wish they were more than kind of annoying. I just want them to be assholes. That was the whole... not every game needs to be compared to every other fucking game. But Monster Prom had this exact same premise with a little bit more, like, fucking bullshit involved. Where, like, it's just being your worst self. That's the whole tagline of that shit.
Yeah.
And, like, I liked it. It was cartoon villainy, you know? And it made sense to me. This was just like hanging out with that one guy who thinks reverse racism is real, and not even that. Instantaneously, I knew all of these guys would respect my pronouns.
It's more like hanging out with that dude in your, like, physics class who definitely thought he was smarter than you. He didn't say it outright, but he definitely thought he did. And, like, he wasn't that mean, but he was just kind of like, okay, bud.
Mm-hmm.
It's the okay bud of video games.
I don't know. I just feel like the worst that would happen to me with these guys is they'd say something passively insensitive.
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't do anything that I would actually consider cartoonishly despicable. They wouldn't do anything that, like, would actually bother me.
Or make them hard to be social or hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Like, I would find them kind of annoying. If
there was one of them who just, like, loved to fight, addicted to fighting, jumped on tables and shit.
Addicted to fighting. Is that fucking idiot from the kissing booth?
Yeah.
Then, like, maybe.
Maybe. Because then at least it's like, of course they can't hang out with people. He's gonna fucking punch him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it had been anything else, if it had been somebody who's, like, has anger issues in any way that isn't Nate's.
That isn't...
Boring-ass anger issues.
Boring-ass anger issues. Anger issues in a benign way. Where it's like, you probably punch walls, but, like, it's not interesting enough for me to give a shit. It's just... Should we rate the game?
Yeah, we should. But... Oh, wait! I don't know why I did that in song. But I have one point to bring up before we end.
Yeah.
I realized this. I remembered it. I think there's something odd about the fact that Pran, Elliot, and Nate are the most visibly, like, black characters. I put black in air quotes because Pran's veins are full of sewage water, and I'm also sure that Pran is I'm, like, pretty convinced that Pran is, like, probably some form of South Asian. South or East Asian. This being said, he's not drawn that way. He's green.
He's very green.
He's very, very green. And Elliot's a Simpson.
Everett?
But, to rephrase myself, they are the most visible characters of color. Followed by Bay, who is a visible character of color, but has a slightly different thing for me. Which is, I don't like this whole aura of untouchability and standoffishness that comes from specifically, like, the fucking people of color. It strikes me as odd, and, like, it's made better by the fact that, like, Jeremy's there and is also an asshole. But, hey, how come the one white kid there, like, the one of the two white kids there is the one that's, like, his problem is being too nice?
Yeah! It's kind of weird.
Kind of weird to me, and, like, I'm sure, like, they have people of color on the staff, and I do appreciate the efforts. Like, you're often going to face this problem where you make a cast of characters, and, like, diversity oftentimes will trump, like, potential bad optics, but, like, these optics are kind of, like, pretty bad.
They don't look good. It does not look good.
Mm-hmm.
Have Shiloh, the one who was the happy, cheerful, too nice person, and he's, like, the whitest one.
God.
Why not have him have the anger issues?
Why can't he have anger issues, you know? I don't really get it. Also, maybe one of them should have just said a slur. Just one.
like...
That's a joke. They wouldn't be able to because they're not allowed to say swear words.
Yeah, you can't say swear words in Oh Baby. No, baby, sorry. XOXO Droplets.
Asterisk.
They'll say God damn it, and they go, it. Oh, speaking of voice lines, this has nothing to do with voice lines, but you know what's a weird voice line? Jeremy has a voice line where he says sighs out loud.
Holy shit.
He goes, sighs.
Sighs.
Why? Have the actor sigh in the booth!
Maybe he's saying it out loud like how Scott says wink in Monster Prime.
Yeah, maybe, but that's weird. No one addresses it. Why does he say sighs out loud?
Sighs.
Sighs.
I'm gonna start doing that on the podcast.
I'm gonna beat you to death.
Why?
Sighs.
Milo doesn't respect me. Sighs.
Well, that's it. The podcast is
Milo
over,
doesn't
folks.
support my dreams of being a magician.
I wouldn't respect you for a magician. We both know this.
Okay, let's rate the game.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, XOXO Droplets is going to get a bad score, which I don't like being... I feel weird being negative on the podcast, because I'm like, well, you know, they put a lot of work into it, but also it's my podcast and I get to do what I want. I'm gonna give XOXO Droplets, like, I don't know, a D+.
Damn.
Like, I don't know, I really just did not enjoy myself playing the game.
Yeah.
Everything was so fucking slow.
It was very fucking slow, and it has extreme overwritten problems. We tried to play the game one time of just... The first time we tried to play it was, like, speaking out loud where one of us would read it, and that was painful. Don't do that.
It hurt.
But I'm gonna give the game... I think the game is a fun little nugget that I like to unravel and figure out what's wrong with it. Pick apart like a machine. So I'm gonna give it a C-.
I love that.
Maybe a C. I'll be generous.
I'm proud of you. And I enjoyed this so much. And, you know, if I could be you, Milo, I would. And so, let's have a little talk about possession.
Possession? Oh, yes! So, I don't know if y'all know this. If y'all are trying to play a game, if you log into someone else's Steam account, while they're using their PC as well, sometimes when you load a game, well, you just take possession of their whole fucking PC.
It'll give you the option to stream a game on your other computer, and you can open the menu to change that. I'm an idiot, so I didn't see that, so I was just like, stream it.
You're not an idiot.
It seems weird, but I'll see what... Thank you, I'm glad you love me. But also, I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll see what this does. And so, Milo, describe your experience. You were doing schoolwork at the time?
I was doing schoolwork, and then I see a note I see Steam say, preparing to launch XOXO Droplets. And I messaged Nellsie, and I go, hey, I think you opened up XOXO Droplets on my computer. Lol XD. I don't say that, but imagine I did. And then, all of a sudden, XOXO Droplets opens, and my mouse is moving, but I'm not the one pressing it.
Yeah, and so, now you're me, and you realize that you have control. And so, you're me, and you realize this, and then you're like, okay, but it's only gonna give me control over the game, right? But no, because then Milo opens Discord and goes, can you see this? And I could type in Discord. I could just fucking control the whole computer.
You could, and it's terrifying for me, because I was like, you could just fuck up my whole life. You could have just ruined my whole goddamn life right there.
I didn't because we're fwags.
Yeah, but I was doing, like, schoolwork and shit. You could have just pressed restart the computer and just ended it.
I just fuck up your life forever.
You shut down, and I just am screwed.
Mm-hmm.
You brick my PC.
But I didn't do that, because I love you.
You could type, like, we were typing at the same time. It was very, very scary.
It was the funniest shit in the world. Just possessing the computer. You started opening recording software to show that I had possessed your computer.
Yeah, I opened a recording software that I took of just the terrifying ordeal of, oh my god, you're controlling my goddamn computer.
That was just a fun experience. I will thank XOXO Droplets for that positive memory, because I was also shitting myself at just like, how am I gonna explain to Milo that I didn't mean to fucking hack into their PC?
You didn't mean to just take control of it.
I'm not in Hackers 1995.
The acclaimed film, Hackers 1995.
Acclaimed film, Hackers 1995, Hack the Planet.
Hack the planet, as they say in Hackers 1995. What if that isn't the date and we just fucked it up?
Well, who's gonna call us on it?
The hacker heads.
The director of Hackers 1995?
Big hacker heads while listening to our podcast.
Big hacker heads listen to our podcast and they're gonna start their defense of Dade Murphy.
The actor is struggling so hard not to have a British accent. Now,
yeah.
So we didn't discuss what game we wanted to play next.
Oh, we didn't.
I think, okay. Now, do we want to go... We could be fun to knock out some apps.
It could be. It really could be.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I get scared of doing the apps because I haven't stopped seeing Obey Me ads. They haunt me.
Are you afraid you're going to get more ads?
They're gonna be ads for other bullshit.
I mean, we could do apps. Apps, I will say, if we're gonna do apps, we're gonna have to do a lot of them, and they will be rapid fire. Because I don't think we deserve it to have to do a bunch of them.
I will say, cut this out of the podcast, but Percy's sister recommended Ikemen Vampire.
Ikemen Vampire, yeah, which is a part of the Ikemen games. I would be interested if we tried to play Ikemen Vampire. Do you want to do that?
I think that would be good.
Yeah, we're going to try to play.
To one of our loyal listeners, you know who you are. We got you.
One of our loyal listeners, we got you. We're going to be playing Ikemen Vampire? I hope that's how it's said.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah, which is an app.
I'm pulling this up in the App Store now. Not excited.
You see, I'm interested because I've played one of the Ikemen games. Because there's I think this is just a big series, maybe. So I'm curious to see how it lives up to that one.
I hope... I don't know what I hope. I hope I get another anime boy that I like.
Mm-hmm.
That's my positive hope.
We sound like soldiers bleeding out.
We are! Who are we doing this for? We're doing it for that one commenter who agreed with us about hating V. You know who we are. We love you.
We love you. This is just sounds like a personal, call out. That person's probably scared.
Oh no, we frightened them, Kevin.
I don't know what the name was. I don't think it was Kevin.
I don't think it was Kevin, but if it would be really funny if it was. If we have a Kevin listening,
Kevin listening, comment down below if you are Kevin.
If your name is Kevin and you're listening, stop smoking weed, shithead.
You cut off so bad.
Oh no.
If your name is Kevin, what?
If your name is Kevin and you're listening, stop smoking weed, shithead.
But that'll do it. That'll do it for DigiDate.
Alright, see you guys tomorrow. And,
tomorrow?
Let me guess your card. 7 of Hearts.
See you guys tomorrow.
Tell me if I'm a card-pulling dipshit in the comments below.
See you guys tomorrow, or whatever we actually do with this next episode, which will definitely not be tomorrow, whatever tomorrow is. But, good guess, I guess.
Oh, I got you, you time-pulling dipshit.
Thank you for listening.
Bye.